Hello everybody. Welcome to your weekly messages for August 27th to September 2nd of 2019. And this is good for all signs, as you guys know. And before we get started, please take a moment to subscribe and like this video if you care to. And also check me out on Instagram at Onyx Healing if you would like more content, more readings, more card pulls, more good stuff on there. I also have a podcast out, so you can check all of that out in the description box if you need to work with me one-on-one. So check all of that out if you're interested. And let's just see what's coming up. This is the Affirmators at Work cards. So let's see what's coming up here. Modesty. I am willing to be wrong. I am willing to not know all the answers. I'm even willing to admit to my boss that I screwed up. Behind all this, humility is the me that I know is better to be modest than to be a die-hard, try-hard know-it-all. Isn't that mature and gracious of me? You're welcome. My bad. Okay, that's hilarious. So this is just about understanding your humanity and understanding that you're not perfect and taking some pressure off of that and just owning when you've done something wrong or when there's been a slip up or when your humanity has shown itself. Don't be afraid of that this week. It's okay. Let's see what else we have going on. Companionship. When you fully bless and embrace your aloneness, you're ready for the ones who are meant to be with you. May I welcome this solitude, knowing it will open the way for all healthy relationships. This card is just reflecting that you need to get your energy right. What I mean by that is you have to center yourself within yourself, being 100% good with what you have going on. And then the people who come into your space are going to reflect that comfort and your level of self-love, self-acceptance, nurturing that you're giving to yourself at all times. So that's the energy that you're going to get reflected back to you. Okay, maybe not every time. Maybe there are some people that really aren't in alignment. So make sure that you are aware of that and that you say no to the right things. All right, let's see. King of Cups. We're mastering our emotions this week or grounding them out. I think this might have something to do with the new moon that we have going on in Virgo. And the ways that we're approaching situations are going to be from a place that's grounded, secure, and not hyper emotional. Because the King of Cups is about getting to the place of mastery within your emotions. It's not about the instability of emotions. So this looks like a great week, just from what I'm able to see, is that if you have a tough conversation that needs to be had, this would be the week to do it. Because you have modesty on the table, you have the King of Cups, and companionship. So it looks like if you're able to come from that space of, I know that I did something wrong, or, you know, I'm willing to hear both sides of the story, or, yeah, let's open up this can of worms. It seems like a good time to do that. Okay, let's see what else we have. Ace of Wands, inspired energy. What I mean by inspired is more of like an invigorating, that spark of life, that spark of energy that you have. I think that there's something about your approach to this week and what you have going on this week that reinvigorates a passion or enthusiasm or interest in something. And then we have the Eight of Cups. So a change in perspective. I actually see this as somewhat of the order of operations. So if you have a lot going on or a lot that needs to get done and you need to take action, the Ace of Wands is saying you have the energy to do it. But I think the mode or the method to getting there might change this week. There's probably something where maybe you're taking a different path, or there's something that you're making happen in a capacity that you didn't realize was going to be the direction. So this is really calling you to be open to innovation around how you're making all of this stuff happen. Whatever that is, I can't speak to more than that because this is a general reading. And then we have the Knight of Swords. Think outside the box. It's okay if it doesn't make sense to everyone around you. It doesn't need to make sense to them. It needs to make sense to you. So if you're able to come from a space of, I know this is taboo, I know this is outside the box, I know this isn't what you would normally expect or the approach that would normally be walked upon, but this is how I'm going to do it. So trust your innovative thinking, trust yourself, trust the information that you have coming through for yourself. That's important to keep in mind. And then we have the Page of Swords. Yep, be willing to explore that new idea or that new pursuit. You have to get curious with it. So the Knight of Swords is kind of like a more mature version and more willing to take risks. The Page of Swords is like willingness to investigate. The Knight of Swords is taking action consistently on that thing that might feel super uncomfortable or outside the box. So you have a blend of both along with the change in perspective. Your emotions are going to be more stable and consistent this week, of course, unless you have something specific going on. But aside from that, the Eight of Cups is saying, yes, this innovation makes a lot of sense for how you get things done, how you use your energy. It looks like some things are rearranging energetically so that you're able to pursue all of the things that you want, but you have to be willing to show up. If you don't show up, then it's just going to kind of slip through your fingers. So if you ground yourself, you're listening to yourself, that's something where you're going to be able to get the answers that you need in order to move forward, make progress, whatever it is that you need. I feel like I should clarify the Page of Swords. There's something else going on with that. Death. Ooh, okay, I like this. I really like this couple right here. And the reason being is that it's saying the old approach, the old way of doing things, the old cycle is burning down. That's the very thing that is being improvised, it's being reborn. So allow yourself to kind of go with the flow of where you want to put your attention, your energy, where you want to put your focus, what you're diving into. Don't shy away from that. So the Page of Swords is just a reminder that it's going to be uncomfortable as you're growing into this next chapter, or as you're stepping into new action, or as you're doing things differently, like with this Eight of Cups right here. This is saying, yes, it's uncomfortable, but it needs to be done. It's necessary for progress. It's necessary for improvement. You have to be open to seeing things differently. And all of this energy, you have it to back you up with whatever you want to pursue. Let's pull some oracle cards. Magic. Invite spirit's intervention. That's a big one. If you don't know what to do, ask your higher power, meditate. I know a lot of you hate it when I recommend that, but it's true. If you actually want to know what to do next, sit down in a chair and be in silence for as long as you can. It's going to be really uncomfortable, but the answers will come once the mental chatter dissipates. Pay attention to synchronicity, invoke your will and your willingness. So you have to show up. If you're getting the intuitive hit, if you're getting the information, you have to take action. Otherwise, it's just not going to... it's like God can send you a life raft, but you have to actually get in. Okay? So just keep that in mind. And then we have sovereignty. Be the ruler of your domain, wear your crown with pride. You've earned it. Stand in your power and your inherent deservingness. I love that. Okay, so if you want it, you're worth it. It's kind of like, since we're all talking about collections of atoms, then the worth piece ceases to be real. It's just something that we attach a story and a meaning to, but it's not actually real. Nobody is worth certain things and not worth others. It's arbitrary. So in order to really get a hold of all of the things that you're trying to cultivate, you really have to step into deservingness. Celebrate, take a moment to enjoy your accomplishments, focus on successes for today, fixing things can wait a bit. Appreciate creative comrades and show them your gratitude. Okay, so this is kind of like, rather than spending energy beating yourself up for all of the things you're not getting done, make sure you're inspiring a little bit more confidence and motivation within yourself by reminding yourself of all of the times and things you've done that have gone well, that have been successful, that have worked out. That's going to be a better approach this week. I'm going to pull one more of these. Decoy, look for the true culprit. Self-sabotage may be at work. Evaluate if it's something you really need to do or if it's a tempting distraction. That's an important one. Definitely an important one. A lot of self-sabotage. We all have it. We all have self-sabotage patterns. So do some investigating around that. Be curious. Don't punish yourself for having these patterns. Just be curious about them. All right, now let's do a 3-card pick. I haven't used this deck in a while. Take a deep breath into the diaphragm, set your intention, ask your question. Okay, card number 1. King of Shells, once again, King of Cups. Again, emotional balance, emotional harmony, emotional consistency and stability, I think, is your best asset right now. And this is really shining through as your internal state more so than a person externally. Again, because you have the companionship card. So this card was reflecting solitude and aloneness as being the basis for high quality companionship. So I see you as finding this independently. And then that's where things, opportunities, people, places, whatever, are going to be attracted to you based on whatever emotions you're storing within your body. And that's a practice. It's not normal to consciously shift your emotions on a regular basis, but that's the practice, right? Card number 2, we have the Hanged Man. Address your habits, address what you're doing on a consistent basis. What are the itty bitty micro behaviors that you have going on that are either helping you or harming you? Only you can decide what it's doing for you or what the payoff is, but that's where I would do some digging, do some looking around what consistent behaviors are serving me, not serving me. Just check in with yourself. What do you need more of? What do you need less of? And that's going to help you shift into that next stage, that next chapter, that next, however you're defining progress. It can be addressed with, or it can be supported by your habits. And then we have the 6 of Shells. The thing that's coming up for this one is like karma might be at work. So if you feel like something is particularly complicated right now, this is a karmic card. So sometimes information from other lifetimes, other experiences might be trickling down and you might not remember what those things are, but the information still kind of lives under the surface. And so this is something that there's a lot to unpack with that, but just keep in mind, it might be karmic. That's one. And that can be good or bad. It can reflect like a soulmate. Again, that can be good or bad. Having a soulmate is neutral. But this is also the soulmate card, right? Right connections, right people, right timing. Everything's kind of working out as it should is another piece of this. You might not realize it in the moment, but you kind of have to hang on to, okay, if there's a lot of stuff that needs to unfold, I'm going to let that happen and just let the pieces fall into place so that everything can kind of be in its best possible position. Okay, so that is all that I have for you today. Thank you for hanging out with me. I know this was a little reading, but thank you for stopping by. And until next time, have a beautiful week, everybody. Don't forget, if you need anything, if you want to know which decks I used, everything is in the description box. Podcast, link to work with me, Instagram, @Onyx Healing. And I will talk to you all later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.